Hey guys, just wanted to make a comment real quick. This week's video that you're about to watch is just a few snippets that are kind of unrelated. Over the past couple of weeks, you know, they don't really fit on a timeline, you know, from one load to the next. So I kind of have been out of my normal videoing routine lately. I'm going to try to get back into more of a regular pattern this coming week. So the videos you're about to watch just are kind of random, don't really fit into any particular order. And then after the video footage, the load footage, I'll do a little discussion of some of the topics some of you guys have brought to my attention from some of the recent videos. Okay folks, so hey, it's Wednesday morning. I'm in Mount Vernon, Indiana, which is close to Evansville, Indiana. Yeah, it's already Wednesday morning, about, I don't know, 7:30 a.m. It's the first time I've got the camera out this week. Here's a shot of the place. This place is called Simbar. There's another Oakley truck that just pulled in. I think he's checking in. But the way it works here is you have to check in and then pull around the road and back in here and scale in and then pull around the road again and then get positioned here. And I'm getting loaded by a front end loader. And I'm getting a product called talc, is what my work order described it as. And this load goes to Talc in Clarksville, Tennessee. He's put 2 scoops in already. That's what we're looking at. Just a white powdery talc type material. So I got a trailer washout this morning first thing, because they said that the trailer's got to be clean, super clean for this. I had just gotten the trailer washed out Monday morning in North Little Rock at the Oakley yard, but I'd hauled a couple of fairly dirty loads since then. So here's a shot of the guy loading. This is scoop number 3. He's supposed to be putting in 23 tons or just a hair over. I told him I want to err on the light side of things, since I'm going to be traveling through Indiana. Indiana changed their overweight ticket fine structure so that it's very okay. We're getting probably just one more, maybe 2 more scoops, I would say. Anyway, it's very detrimental to a driver to get an overweight ticket in Indiana now, because my understanding is they're going to ticket Oakley. In my case, let's say, I'm just going to make up some numbers. Let's say the first Oakley driver that gets a ticket in a, I don't know if it's done yearly or what. Let's say the ticket's $1,000. Okay, so the second Oakley driver that gets a ticket, the fine may be $2,500. And the third Oakley driver, the fine might be $5,000. So it gets progressively higher each time one of that company's drivers gets an overweight ticket. So you know, that's not a fair structure to the drivers, because all of Oakley's drivers are independent operators. So to have a scale like that is really not fair to us drivers. Now, if I see what they're trying to do, if they were, you know, if all of us were company drivers, I could see how, you know, like with Maverick, for example, we were all company drivers. That structure punishes Maverick as a company, not the individual driver. So Anytime I'm going to be hauling through the state of Indiana, I'm going to be very, very careful to be on the light side of the trailer weights. Normally, I try to push it as good as I can so the load is, it makes sense to haul as much product as you legally can. But I would definitely err on the cautionary side of anything going to Indiana. Now, this load delivers in Clarksville, Tennessee, and I think my dispatcher has told me that after I deliver in Clarksville, I'll be picking up somewhere else and delivering in Indiana somewhere. So I'll have to be very cautious with that one too. So we'll see what happens. So that's what we're doing. My loader, like I said, I think he's put in 3 scoops at this point. Let's walk back here and see. We're at the what they call the port. They call this area the Port of Indiana. At least that's what the sign said. But the river is right over there. You can see in the distance there, a lot of granary, fertilizer type operations. Kind of like what you see with a lot of Oakley stuff. Here comes my guy again. This will be dump number 4. So I'm gonna go around where I can see my scales. All right, more later. Okay guys, so I'm in Russellville, Kentucky. I just started getting loaded here with some scrap metal. He's put a couple of loads in so far. And this load goes to Tell City, Indiana, which is a short trip. It's only a couple hours from here. So I'll get this delivered today. Here's the pile of metal he's picking up from. They call this on the work order bushling. So he can't really tell what kind of weight he's putting in. He just kind of goes by sight from previous loading. So I'll be watching my gauges here in a minute. This load, like I said, delivers in Indiana. And Indiana has some new overweight ticketing rules that I do not want to play around with. So I definitely do not want to be much more over, I don't want to be over 46,000 pounds very much at all. Plus I'm low on fuel. So that's a good look at it. Let's see what we're doing. He hadn't started really making a dent on the weight yet. Let's give you a look around here. I've never been to this place. Russellville, Kentucky. This place is called Cumberland Scrap Metal. You have to come in from the highway over there and scale in and then come down through here into this loading area. You can see I've got my bows turned to the side. Got to take your bows out, so I'll have to climb in there after getting loaded and get the bows put back in and tarp back on. So at some point in the weighing process, I'll probably want to move the truck a little bit to get different weight measurements, because this is not level ground and it does make a difference. So I'll try to move the truck around a little bit, see if it makes a difference. All right, well, that's a good look of it. Yeah, still got a long way to go. All right, more later. Okay, folks, so we find ourselves here in Ennis, Texas at a GAF roofing shingle plant. And as you can see, I'm unloading some roofing granules. This color is called Antique Gold. Right, Clayton?
Yeah.
This is Clayton, my friendly unloader. So I picked this load up yesterday in Annapolis, Missouri. Never picked up there before, and I've never delivered here before. But it's pretty quick unload, as you can see. Dumps into a pit under here, and then they've got a conveyor system that takes it into the building there where they make roofing shingles. And Clayton was telling me something messed up last night where I don't know, the timing with the overnight crew and the railroad. You see they got railroad tracks that come in and out of here too. They didn't get anything done last night. So there was another Oakley driver that unloaded immediately in front of me this same product. So they've had two of us in here today that I know of. Oh, there it goes, shifting. So this will probably take another 20 minutes or so, and then I'll have to, the way it works here is you loop around that way, go back out to the scale, and then back out that way. There's a holding lot out front by the road where I'll sweep out and call in and see what's next. I don't know where I'm going. Today is Friday. I don't know what's next. My dispatcher was having trouble finding me something. Last time I talked to him, he said he might just have me deadhead empty from here to North Little Rock and set me up for a pickup Monday. So we'll see what happens. I think he would like me to get to North Little Rock to pick up something today at Alltech Recycling, but I'm not going to get there. You know, they close at 3:30, and I won't be able to get from here to there at this point by 3:30. So yeah, I've been here. It's been kind of slow, you know. We had to wait almost an hour before they called us in. I say we, me and the other Oakley driver. So I've been here for probably an hour and a half. Kind of a rare slow unload. Well, the unload's quick, but the getting back here was slow. So there it is. So what I'll do at the end is I'll open up my gate there a little bit and let the rest of that product fall out. And then I'll go around to the holding lot and give it a sweep. All right. So let's check things out, give you a look at things. I really hadn't filmed anything this week that I remember, but here's a view of the plant, part of the plant anyway. So I'll have to circle around that way back out towards the front. So all right, more later. Okay guys, so to wrap up this week's video, I wanted to talk a little more about kind of a follow-up from last week's video where I discussed, you know, kind of reviewed the past few months making the switch from Maverick over to Oakley, and I wrote down some issues or questions some of you guys have left for me this past week. I want to start by addressing something I should have mentioned last week and just forgot. You know, I talked about how, you know, my weekends with Oakley are much better than what I had with Maverick. You know, I get longer weekend breaks, shorter work days, typically work less hours during the week, which makes for longer weekends. And a key factor in that is that with Maverick, you know, Maverick has a policy that whatever home load you have, let's say you pick up a load on Friday and go home for your break, their rules are you have to have that load delivered by 10 a.m. on Monday. And, you know, that's an important thing, you know, because in my case on Fridays, many times I would pick up loads out of Fort Smith, you know, on Friday and come home, do my 34-hour break or whatever it ended up being, and then have to have that load delivered in, say, somewhere in Michigan a lot of times by 10 a.m. on Monday, you know, and that's about a, I don't know, as I remember, probably a 15-16 hour drive from here. So, you know, that meant I'd have to leave out early on a Sunday and drive a full day, and then get up Monday morning and still have probably 3 or 4 hours to go. So, you know, that makes for short weekend break. Good miles, good trip, but I'm talking about the, you know, the weekend time right now. So that at Oakley, we don't have a, you know, there's no requirement on your Monday delivery timeline, you know. I mean, unless you have a customer where you have an appointment to deliver, like that place in Jackson, Tennessee, and Troy, Missouri, I deliver there quite often to both those places, and they go by appointments, but it's not something set for Monday like with Maverick, you know, like 10 a.m. So it's usually more with Oakley, it's more of an open end, you know, a time frame. So I mean, if you want to get going early, like sometimes I'll leave out early on a Monday, because you know, the earlier you get delivered on Monday, the quicker you get reloaded and get going for the week, you know. There's been times when I've left out on Sunday afternoon to go somewhere and get delivered earlier on Monday. You know, it just depends on the load and what I have going on. But you have more freedom to determine that yourself. You know, it's not mandated in Maverick's case by policy that you have to have it delivered by 10 a.m. on Monday. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Okay, I got some notes here. I'll try to address these real quick that some of you guys had asked me about following last week's video. Fuel costs. You know, last week I mentioned that I'm netting, bringing home about $3,600 on average per week, and somebody had mentioned that, you know, I forgot to deduct fuel cost out of that. Now, I didn't forget it. That's already got the fuel cost out of there. So what I meant by net, you know, when you get your weekly settlement net from Oakley, it's already got all your fuel costs that you've charged to your account for that particular week. It's already got that deducted out of there. All your other fees, you know, licensing fees, escrow fee for the trailer, all of that stuff's already taken out of that net number. All right, so that net number already had the fuel deducted out of it. Just want to clarify that. Okay, somebody says, how's your truck? Had any problems? Has it worked out like you expected? That sort of thing. You know, I bought a 2019 Peterbilt 579 from Arrow Truck Sales up in Springfield, Missouri. And it had about 440,000 miles on it when I got it. And I wish I'd had a little more time from the point I bought it and got it back here to when I actually started driving it. You know, I really had planned to have an extra week where I was going to be able to kind of get it ready, do some prep, whatever, servicing, but the way it worked out, starting with Oakley, I started a week earlier than expected, so I really didn't have as much time to get acquainted with the truck as I wanted. But the first week out in the truck was kind of disappointing, really. You know, that week I was out with my trainer, I had a few little issues that worried me. You know, for one, I had a headlight go out, so we stopped and bought a new headlight bulb, put it in, and it didn't work. So we thought, I say we, me and my trainer, Robert, we thought I had some kind of wiring problem, you know, electronic problem. But the new bulb, after we installed it and drove for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or something, then it started working, and it's worked fine ever since. So I don't know what happened there. And then right after that, like the same day, my defroster, and it was cold now. This was back in December. And we were up in Virginia, I think. It was cold. And my defroster quit working, you know, so my windshield was fogging up and I was having to wipe things off with a towel. And turns out that was caused just by clogged filters, you know. And in retrospect, that's something I would know now to should have just changed all those out to begin with. But had very clogged filters, so we stopped and bought some filters at a Love's and changed those out, and it worked, and it's worked fine since then. Also, I think my cabin air filter, I think I had that changed at the Kenworth dealership once when my truck was in for something else. Let's see, what else? A couple months ago, I had to have an ABS harness replaced because a lot of that electronic sensor stuff, you know, ABS, the cruise control, a lot of that stuff that's related to that harness, it quit working, you know. So and that was a pretty good expense there. I mean, that was about with labor and everything, I think that was about $4 grand. That's been the worst thing that happened, is it was not covered under warranty. So I got that fixed, and my refrigerator went out about the same time, and I ordered a fridge from truckfridge.com, I think it was called. I think it cost $700 roughly, and got that put in. You know, I'm just giving you some of the things that have happened over the past 6 months that I can remember. I've had 3 or 4 oil changes. You know, if you're not familiar with it, you know, to buy all the filters required for an oil change in these big trucks, you know, there's like 4 different filters, and then an air filter, which I usually change like every other oil change. You know, if you go have your oil change done somewhere like at a Speedco, and now I buy my filters separately on my own and then take it to Speedco usually, and just pay them for the oil and the labor to do it, you know. So I'm trying to think, with me buying my own filters and then paying them, you know, it's about $600, $550 maybe, for all, because these trucks use about 12 gallons of oil, so it's a pretty nice expense, you know. And you have to do that. I try to change my oil about every 20,000 miles. So you know, just giving you an idea of some of the normal expenses. Let's see, I hope I didn't get off track there, but yeah, if you just go to Speedco, for example, and get all the filters from them and just buy everything right through them, I think it's more like $800. So anyway, other than that, you know, I like the truck. I like the truck. I mean, it's comfortable. I like it. I like it better than the Freightliner I was driving, even though the Freightliner was newer. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. I just hope, you know, want to take care of it. Hope it lasts a few years. Let's see, what else? Let me move along here. Oh, somebody asked about, they thought they saw somewhere where Oakley requires that drivers have at least a fender mirror on the right side. And I'm not sure about that. You know, on the Freightliners I drove at Maverick, that's all they had on those was the right side fender mirror. There wasn't one on the driver's side. I really don't know about Oakley. My truck has both. I'll try to look around at some of the other trucks. The person that asked this question was particularly interested in like the long nose trucks, you know, where they required to have fender mirrors. And I really don't know. I'll just have to try to ask around, see what I can find, and look around the yard at some of the other trucks. Okay, somebody asked about trailers. What type of trailers are we using? Aluminum, steel, frameless, framed. My trailer, you know, I do end dump, is an aluminum frameless. All right. But we do have some steel trailers, you know, more heavy duty for hauling more serious loads of steel, metal. But us end dump guys, normally we're driving frameless aluminum. Okay, and then somebody asked about training. So let me start with Maverick first. You know, at Maverick, as a company driver, you rode in a truck with a trainer for 2 or 3 weeks. All right. With Oakley, since we're all owner operators, you basically are shadowing your trainer. You know, you're driving your truck, the trainer's driving his truck, and they book you the same loads. Typically, you know, you're out there for about a week with your trainer, a few days, a week, and they basically book you mirroring loads. So you're basically just shadowing your trainer, going to get loads, making the same deliveries, each person's in their own truck. You're just going to the same places, making the same deliveries, same loads, and it's only about a week. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. And I wanted to mention too, I got a new driver, Ed from Arizona, that just completed his orientation at Oakley a few days ago, and he's hooked up with a trainer, and I think my dispatcher, he's on my dispatcher's board. So dispatcher told me that I think they picked up a load Friday, 2 days ago, and you know, getting started. So congratulations, Ed, you're getting rolling with Oakley. Hope things go very smoothly. Oh, let's see what else I got here. That's about it. I'm going to try to get on more of a routine now, doing some more video footage, so see how that goes. And currently I'm empty. You know, I drove from Ennis, Texas to North Little Rock Friday empty, and dispatcher has me set to pick up a load here at the Little Rock 3M plant, getting roofing granules. Monday, my appointment time is 1:20 p.m. so it's kind of a late start for me, but I have a dental appointment. That's not his fault. You know, I had a dental appointment set up. I've got an old root canal tooth that's got to probably have another root canal, so I'm going to see the endodontist tomorrow morning for an initial visit to see what he wants to do with that. So that'll be fun. You know, I'll get out to the yard after that appointment, and I'm probably going to go through the truck wash, because I'll need to get a trailer washout. Might as well do it there at the yard, Oakley yard. And then I'll drive, you know, it's like 5 or 6 miles over to the 3M plant, get loaded, and it delivers in I think to the Atlas Roofing in Meridian, Mississippi, which is, I think, you know, 6 or 7 hours. Now Atlas Roofing, I believe, is open 24/7, so what I'm planning to do is deliver it Monday evening whenever I get there, and there's a pilot right down the street, so I'm probably going to go in and just reserve me a parking spot, so once I get unloaded I can just drive. I mean, it's like, seriously, the pilot's just right down the street, like a few hundred yards from the plant, as I remember, and that way I'll have a parking spot for sure, because it might be 9 or 10 o'clock before I get unloaded. Okay guys, more later.